I've always read and listened to a lot of sports persons who have excelled in their respective careers, saying that, at the end of your career, there will be suddenly a feeling, a thought within you, which will tell that a day has come when you have to leave the sport and move on. And I think I've experienced that over the last 4-5 days. It's been definitely a very tough decision for me because, as I mentioned earlier, I took a lot of pride in playing for the country, and I think I got an opportunity to do something to the country through cricket. I always listen to my inner conscience and listen to my voice inside, and that is probably the reason why I actually also played cricket as a career, or took cricket as a career, because I always wanted to become a doctor. At the age of 17, my inner voice said that I want to become a cricketer, which was definitely a tougher career path, and common sense says that you prefer medicine over cricket because it's definitely a gamble as a career path. But I listened to my inner voice, and I feel that inner voice is a divine voice. And throughout my career, I've always done that. Throughout my career, I've listened to my inner voice, what my conscience feels is right for me to do. And there was definitely a lot of debate internally over the last 4-5 days since the time this thought has come. I always gave a lot of importance to the team's need and team's requirement and the country's future. And I always played the game over the last 16 years only with the sole purpose that the country comes ahead of my personal aspirations. And I felt that while my personal aspiration is definitely to do well especially against the teams like England and Australia, for the sole reason that we didn't do well against them last year, and that was a drive, that was a motivation for me to be a part of the team which achieved success against them in India. But I felt that it's the right time for me to move on so that an opportunity can be given to a youngster to play in the home conditions. I think it's very important that the youngster should get an opportunity to play in the home condition, especially keeping in view and keeping in mind the overseas tours next year. It was a very tough decision, and that is why late until last night I was not able to really make up my mind, because it's an opportunity for me to definitely continue play cricket, and I've really worked hard. If you say, if you ask about my fitness, if you ask at my desire, I've really worked hard over the last 3.5 months. But I think I'm listening to my inner voice, and I think that is very important, and I feel really satisfied that I have left the game with the same ideals like the way I've actually played my game throughout my career. That is always respect and think and give more importance to the team's need than actually my personal aspiration. I'm really thankful to the Almighty that He gave me an opportunity to make the right decision. In fact, I communicated to the selectors only this morning. I communicated to the chairman of selection committee this morning and communicated to the board this morning that I'm not going to continue playing cricket and hang my boots. So they were communicated this morning. So yeah, it's definitely an emotional moment, for everyone, not only leave alone my family, but the entire cricket fraternity. It's really heartening and very emotional for me to read the number of messages I got since the time people came to know that I'm announcing my retirement. So obviously there are a lot of people who didn't want me to retire, and there are a lot of people who would have loved me to continue playing. But luckily for me, my family has always supported me. As I mentioned, it was a very tough decision. The only thing my parents told me was follow your inner voice. You know, that's the whole reason I started playing cricket. As I mentioned in my press note, that my parents gave me the independence and freedom to choose cricket as a career because my parents respected my inner voice and they gave me the freedom. So they told you played the entire career listening to your conscience and your inner voice, and it should not be anything different, even though they would have all loved me to continue play cricket. And there was definitely an internal mental battle, and saying that whether I play for my own personal aspirations or whether I think about the growth of Indian cricket. And keeping in mind the way I played my entire career, the way I played the game throughout my career, I always felt that I listen to my inner conscience, and my inner conscience says that the team is more important than my natural and my personal aspirations. So that was the toughest 3 or 4 days in my career, if I may say. But I'm very contented, I'm very happy that I made the right decision. And answering your other question, which is about the England and the Australia series, definitely it was very disappointing the way the team performed in England and Australia. It was very disappointing, and no cricketer would want your country to actually lose in such a fashion. But saying that it's part and parcel of international cricket. There have been times when we actually went to Australia and done well. We went to England and have done well. And I'm sure that the team will bounce back. And they've got an ideal opportunity to do that against the same opponents this winter. And I wish the team all the very best.